Hello everyone, and welcome to NFL Discussion. I'm your host and NFL enthusiast Dougie Doug. In today's episode, I'm going to be discussing Monday Night Football, Week 14 of the 2022 NFL season. So in this game, well, it wasn't exactly the prettiest game. It was a fairly ugly game. Very serious major injury happened like 3 plays into the game for the Cardinals. And as for the Patriots, well, their defense stepped up big time and got them the win. And with that, we'll go ahead and get right into the action, starting with the Patriots. Mac Jones completed 24-35 passes for 235 yards, no touchdowns, and 1 interception. So Jones wasn't asked to do much following the opening drive injury to Kyle Murray, with a defensive touchdown in a tied game in the third quarter, allowing the Patriots to coast to victory. It was a game that had injuries on both sides. For the Patriots, Devontae Parker and Ramondre Stevenson would leave the game before the half for the Patriots. Jones would throw a costly interception early on, but the Patriots defense was able to hold the Cardinals to a field goal on that drive. He was serviceable for the remainder of the game, with his longest completion coming early in the third quarter on a 39-yard seam route to Hunter Henry. The win moves the Patriots to 7-6, keeping them very much still alive in the AFC playoff picture. Next week, they travel to Las Vegas to face the Raiders. So depth for the Patriots gets them the win here, or helps the system to win. So this game did get ugly on the injury front early. No issue for Bill Belichick as he turned to his depth chart to take home a win. South Dakota State product Pierre Strong finally saw the field after spending most of the season as a reserve, and he didn't waste much time before making an impact, catching the pass for a 16-yard gain and using his speed to race around the left end for a 44-yard gain on the ground, setting up a game-tying field goal. So 6th-round rookie Kevin Harris would also pitch in as well, picking up 32 yards and scoring a touchdown on his first 3 carries to give the Patriots an early lead. The offense not at its best in this game, but the Patriots were able to turn to their lesser-known players to win a game they needed at this point. And again, it wasn't just the offense, it wasn't just a couple rookie running backs that had been reserves pitching in to help out on offense. It was the defense really that did a lot more in this game, and I think you can point to one guy in particular, that being Josh Usay, who had himself a game. Now, you look at Josh Usay's season, and it took him until week 8 to make an impact. But if you hadn't been paying attention to him in the last couple of months, it might be time to start paying attention. It might be time to catch up. He's in his 3rd year. But he's certainly enjoying what might be his best season, recording 7 sacks in his last 5 games and through Monday night. He then built on that total Monday night, recording 3 more sacks as part of 5 total tackles. O'Shea wasn't just getting after the quarterback, though. When he wasn't taking down the quarterback for a sack, he was using his hands to great effect, deflecting a pass and setting it towards the hands of Marcus Jones for an interception. Now, Matthew Judon rightfully attracts the most attention on the defense, but it's much more than just one man causing issues for opposing offense. And when you have players like Uche who can step up, that helps make that defense a legitimate threat. And on Monday night, that threat proved to be valid. So the Patriots certainly are an interesting team. Their offense seems average at best. Their defense seems good. What that means for them going forward, I have no idea. I don't know if they make the playoffs, but if they do, I don't know if they go very far. As for the Cardinals, Colt McCoy completed 27 of 40 passes for 246 yards and 1 interception, and 5 carries for 24 yards. So he also took 6 sacks and fumbled in the game, which was recovered by James Conner. McCoy would enter the game after just 3 offensive plays, with Kyler Murray left with a non-contact knee injury. So Kyler is expected to have torn his ACL, which likely sets up McCoy to start the final 4 games of the season. McCoy was under constant pressure by an aggressive Patriot defensive front, and as a result was largely incapable of attacking deep in a horizontally spread Arizona offense. So McCoy gets a chance to audition for a follow-up on his contract the rest of the season, with next year being the final year of a 2-year deal he has with the Cardinals. So looking at the Cardinals too, obviously losing Kyler Murray did not help matters, but it was more than just that. It was mistakes made in this game by the Cardinals that certainly didn't do them any favors. You look at penalties, they had 8 of them, and those penalties would consistently undercut Arizona's ability to put together some meaningful drives. But it was also more than just penalties. There were a couple important fourth down attempts that they came up short on. One where there was a wide open target, and that pass was broken up, and about the Patriots just enough time to kick a field goal to end the half. And the other field conversion, before things got desperate, it required Arizona to go for it every time on fourth down, regardless of field position. That happened because of a drop pass downfield. Also, DeAndre Hopkins, their best player, he made a couple of critical mistakes, including an illegal shift and a fumble that happened because he didn't tuck the ball away securely from running after the catch, and that fumble resulted in 6 for the Patriots, a fumble return touchdown, putting the Patriots ahead in what was previously a tie game. And then you add in that missed field goal at the beginning from the Cardinals, and you have a collection of mistakes that narrowed the already slim margin for error that Arizona has. And overall, this stuff isn't just a coincidence, but rather symbolic of everything that has been wrong with the Cardinals this season. And if you needed, like an explanation, or you needed to see why Arizona's had a disappointing season, this game is a good example. And I talked about it too, the Kyler Murray injury, but obviously with that injury, a tough season gets even more tough for Arizona. So Murray, he's had some injury issues. He's had some injury issues throughout his game. You think back to this season, he missed a couple of games to a hamstring injury. And on Monday night, it looks like he suffered a season-ending injury. It looked like something went wrong with his knee, just the way that he kind of went down. It was in the middle of a trade, one of his signature trademark, whatever you want to call it, scrambles, and then he attempted to cut up the field to avoid a defender, and instead of pulling off the move for extra yards, his knee basically just kind of gave out, and he ended up going down to the ground and having to be taken out via the carts. Cliff Kingsbury said after the game that it doesn't look good for him, which means expect the worst. For a Cardinals team that never really got going to start the year, this is likely the final blow that should send them to the off-season early, and it's no fault of Colt McCoy. He's a gritty, tireless competitor who leaves it all out there in preparation, and also when he's called upon, just leaves it all out there on the field. But he just doesn't have a ceiling that's going to inspire much hope and really kind of make this team better. Like, he does well, he's serviceable, but there's not much you can't go very far with this guy. And it seems as if the Cardinals, a team of enough talent on paper to contend going into the season, are, heading towards a losing season and heading towards irrelevancy with just a month left of the season. So I think it's a cautionary tale too. The Cardinals look like contenders on paper, but they're not. They're not contenders, so it's an unfortunate end for Kyler's season too. And if it is indeed a torn ACL, that's going to have some ramifications on next season as well. And with that, we'll go ahead and wrap up this discussion on Monday Night Football. And now it is time for my favorite segment of the week, that being the Throwing in the Towel segment. So for those of you who don't know what this segment is, or just need a quick recap, basically this is a segment every week on this, every week that I do, where I pick one team and throw in the towel on their season. Now we are getting close to that crunch time, as you will. There's 4 weeks left in the season, so we're at that quarter stretch of games left, and I can imagine more teams might be getting eliminated. So if a team gets eliminated and I haven't thrown a towel in on, then they'll just be go ahead and throwing. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be doing throwing in the towel, but for at least this week we got another segment. And so just to do a quick recap. Week 1, it was the Jets, but that's been rescinded. Week 2, it was the Texans. Week 3, it was the Seahawks, but that's been rescinded. Week 4, it was the Panthers. Week 5, the Steelers. Week 6, the Bears. Week 7, the Lions. Week 8, the Jaguars. Week 9, the Raiders. Week 10, the Saints. Week 11, the Broncos, who were the latest team eliminated from the playoffs. So I guess 3 for 3 so far. Week 12, it was the Rams, and Week 13, it was the Colts, and that leads me to this week's edition, Week 14. So, I was trying to decide between the Cardinals and the Browns, and given what happened to the Cardinals on Monday night, I went ahead and picked the Arizona Cardinals as my team for Week 14. So this season has been a nightmare for the Cardinals. Entering Monday night's matchup with the Patriots, they were 1-6 at home, now 1-7. The defense has been prone to mistakes and lapses. The offense has been inconsistent. Cliff Kingsbury is probably on the hot seat. About the only thing that hasn't happened to this team is a devastating injury to the quarterback, and you can guess where this is headed. On the first series of Monday night's loss, Kyler Murray had to be carted off the field after suffering a non-contact injury, and per ESPN's Josh Weinfuss, there is little doubt that Murray tore his ACL, so that's like the leading speculation. There's no confirmed word as of now, but it seems like a formality more than anything else as to confirming that torn ACL. And that wasn't even the only injury the Cardinals suffered. Their most productive defensive lineman, Zach Allen, suffered a hand injury, and they were already down their top quarterback in Byron Murphy Jr. Now, not only is the season lost, but the beginning of the 2023 campaign is in jeopardy as well. So whatever approach that the Cardinals were going to have to the offseason has now completely shifted. Things for the Cardinals have gone from bad to worse to catastrophe, and there will probably be quite a few bleeps in the next episode of Hard Knocks. Look, if Cliff Kingsbury loses his job, 1, understandable. 2, it is a shame that, things didn't work out, but it's also a cautionary tale as to why hiring guys from the college ranks to be head coaches, why it doesn't always work out, it seems like. Cardinals aren't officially eliminated from playoff contention, but I think it's a matter of when and not if. And that's my team for this week, the Arizona Cardinals. And with that, we'll go ahead and wrap up this episode of NFL Discussion. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to hit that like button down below.